Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to my channel, to my wonderland, and in today's coffee time, I'm going to show you how to have zero self-control when it comes to buying books.
It's coffee time!
I have been accumulating only in the month of January. I'm not even sure when this book haul is gonna go up, probably later in February or March, but in January, I bought a total of 31 books. And that is not included the graphic novels, because I'm gonna put the graphic novels in a different haul, because I want to accumulate enough graphic novels to talk to you separately about them. So in this haul, I have already 31 books to talk about, and I have more in the mail, and please send help. Even though there is one book that is the January Owl Crate book, and then other books I bought because of challenges and because of readathons and read-alongs, so I had an excuse for that. And also some of the books that I bought were used, but they were like new or in very good condition, and I've been doing that lately because I figured that if I do that, I still can get a lot of books that I want to read and reduce a little bit my costs. Alright, since I have so many books to talk about, I'm not gonna go into way too much detail into the books, but I'm gonna quickly show you the ones that I got and roughly tell you what they were about, if I even know what they're about, because some of these books I just purchased because of the author. But anyways, let's go into it. Let's start with the middle grade, and I got this one because the price dropped like crazy on Amazon and I decided to pick it up, and that is this one, Elizabeth and Zenobia by Jessica Miller. And I've always loved the cover. This was part a cover buy, also because I don't read too many middle grades, but I would like to include more into my reading, and so I decided to pick this one up. All I know is that there is these two girls and that it is based on a creepy house, so I like stories about creepy things, and I decided to pick it up. Then I have They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera, because I love What If It's Us so much that I am now collecting all of Adam Silvera's books because I want to read them all. And this one is based on a world where when you're gonna die, they call you 24 hours before and they're like, yo, stop, you're gonna die in 24 hours, and you're like, yay, and at least they're giving you like a heads up. And basically these two characters get to know each other because they've both been called for this 24-hour deadline, or that's what I think happened, and we probably follow their journey in that last day together, something like that. It's gonna be probably heartbreaking, and I can't wait to read it. Then we have Slenderman by Anonymous, and I picked this one up only because I saw it on Goodreads. Somebody was reading it and I quickly looked it up, and I love horror. I love the story of the Slenderman. I loved that video game of the Slenderman. I still have not watched the movie, even though I really want to. And this book is one of those that it's kind of has like compiled media, like it has letters and emails and things like that, and I was like, why the heck not? And it is a beautiful hardcover, so I got it because I also this year want to read more horror, and it just looks beautiful, and now I can read this and then watch the movie. Then I have Making Pretty by Corey Ann Hardy, and I got this one only because it dropped in Amazon and I only had to pay €3 for it, and it was on my wish list for, I believe, romance books, and I don't read too many of those, but I like to have like a little stack ready, especially for summer, which is when I'm more in the mood for this kind of stories. All I know is that it is a contemporary about two sisters whose mom basically just leaves them, and they have to deal with that and the relationship between the two sisters, you know, when life and college and things come in between. Then I have a little book that I've always wanted to read, and that is this one, The Fangirl's Guide to the Galaxy, a handbook for girl geeks by Sam Maggs. And I'm a girl and I love everything geek, nerdy, you name it, I just love it. And I'm one of those people that loves cosplay, conventions, and all of the things. And this little book I've seen around, and I decided it was time to pick it up. Then I have Encounters by Jason Wallace, and this is one of the books that I bought already used. And when I went to London to a book convention, I saw this book, it was coming out, and I really wanted it, and I didn't pick it up, and then I regretted it. and I decided it was time to buy it because it's about this group of children and aliens, and I love aliens, so this is definitely one that I wanted to read. Then I have The Deadlands by Benjamin Percy, and I bought this one also through Amazon because this is a post-apocalyptic thriller, and it's also been blurred by Stephen King, so I love post-apocalyptic stories and I'm looking for new good thrillers, so I decided to purchase this one and see if I like it. Then we have An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson, and first of all, this cover is stunning, and her new book is coming out this year as well, and the cover of that one is also stunning. And this is a book that I've heard people either loving it or just DNFing it, so I'm not really sure if I'm gonna love it or not. But I mean, this cover is just gorgeous, and I got it from Book Outlet, so it was a little bit cheaper, and I definitely want to read this one. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to get to it soon because my TBR pile is huge, but I definitely want to read this one and see if I love it. Then we have History's All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. Same reason what I got They Both Die at the End is just because I want to expand my Adam Silvera collection and I want to read all his books now, and I decided to pick this one up as well. All I know is that we follow this boy whose ex-boyfriend dies in a drowning accident, and you know how he deals with that, so it's also gonna be heartbreaking, but my body's ready. Next we have Lizzie by Dawn Hughes, and I got this one because I believe it is a modern retelling on Lizzie Borden, whom story I love, and I saw it and I decided I needed this because I love Lizzie's story. If you have not watched the Lizzie Borden Chronicles in Netflix, watch it. I love that show. It was fantastic, and Christina Ricci is just, she's magnificent. And so since I'm interested in the story of Lizzie Borden, I decided why not read a retelling on that. Then I have Trial by Fire by Josephine Angelini, and I got this one because they announced a read-along of this book, and I thought, I have not read the book. Sounds like an interesting fantasy, why not? It's cool to read it together with other people. So I decided to get it and read it, and we're following the story of a girl that has a really huge problem with allergies, and it's getting worse and worse, and she doesn't know if she's even gonna be able to go to college like everybody else. And we start kind of like in a contemporary story world, and suddenly we find ourselves in a fantasy world, which is super cool, and I love the way that they did the transition. So it is a fantasy that starts kind of like a contemporary, and I thought the idea was really interesting, and I'm currently reading it right now as of now, and when I finish it, if I really love it as much as I'm already enjoying it, I will get book 2 and 3 because it is the first book in a trilogy. Then we have Pet Sematary by Stephen King, and I don't think I need to explain this book. I got it basically because the copy that I have from Pet Sematary is the copy that I read back when I was a teenager, and that is a mass market paperback, and it's in Spanish because that's how I used to read Stephen King. And so since the new movie is coming out in April this year, I decided why not rereading the book, this time in English in the original language, and annotating it, and then watch the 2 movies are already out, you know, Pet Sematary and Pet Sematary 2, and then go to the cinema to watch the remake, you know, to have a full experience of the story and more insight on which things they've changed here and there. And so I decided to pick up this edition. I had to order this from Book Depository because Amazon didn't have these large hardcover. They only had these little kind of library hardcovers that I don't really like, so I decided to pick this one up. Next we have The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, and to be honest, I don't remember anything about the synopsis of this book, but I've always seen it in people's videos, and they said that there was a special book, it was really interesting, and the world building was so nice. So I've always wanted it and always had it on my radar, and I found it for a bargain deal, so I had to buy it. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna start it this year, to be honest, because I have a lot of other books that I want to get to, but at least I have the first book. I'm gonna try to collect the other ones as well, so that if I read this one and I really love it, I have the other ones at hand. And it also has a glossary at the end with words that they use in this world, so I'm super excited to be diving into a complete world, and they say that the world building is really good in this book, so I'm super excited. Then we have His Bloody Project by Graham McRae Burnett. I totally butchered that, but this is basically based on some crimes, like it's true story of a murder in Scotland in the 1800s, and this is kind of like the compilation of the documents related to the case. So that sounded super interesting to me. It looks like a more serious book, you know, like something that it's gonna take me maybe a little bit longer to get through, but it sounded super interesting and I had to have it. Then we have Winged Jones by Catherine Weber, and I saw this book in a video from G Swizzle, and I decided that I needed to get it, and I just went to Amazon and purchased it right away. I believe it's about a girl that finds out that she has this special talent, but I believe it's also one of those books that kind of breaks you, and I'm excited because it's a book that I don't know too much about, but I am intrigued, and somebody that I trust recommended it, so that's why I got it. Next we have Shadowrun, and it is by Adrienne Strickland and Michael Miller. So I wanted to collect this year a couple more like science fiction books and things like that, because I don't have that many on my TBR on my shelves, and so I picked this one up about a ship, and it's kind of sci-fi, and I'm super excited. So the next books are a purchase that is related to one of the books that I've shown you on my last book haul, and that is related to this book here, The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. And I got this one because I saw people saying that it was really good, and since I want to read more horror this year, I decided to pick it up. And because I'm a sucker for editions, and Amazon had other books by him on this kind of same edition, I decided to pick them up as well. So I got A Head Full of Ghosts and Disappearance at Devil's Rock, and I got them because they match, and this pleases my heart, and then when you have them on your shelves they all look nice and matching, and that's why I got them. And since I wanted to read more horror anyways, it's always good to have a book at hand, and I've only heard good things about these books and this author, so I'm super pumped to start reading them. I think I'm gonna start reading this one, which is the one that got me actually to buy all these books. So this one I already put on my TBR pile for this year. Then I have the January Alcrate book, and that is The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokski, and it came signed. Also, the Naked book has this stamp which is exclusive to the Alcrate, and they changed the colors on the cover as well, and I absolutely love it. And the story is also pretty cool. We're in Paris in the 1800s, and there is this treasure hunter, and the Order of Babel actually hires him to find a device that they're looking for. So this sounds totally something down my alley, and I am super pumped and super excited to get to this one. Then I have The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. So basically I read a couple of thrillers for the Buzzword Readathon, and then on Twitter some people recommended me some thrillers as well that I might enjoy, and I got recommended this one. I decided to pick it up. To be honest, I don't know anything about the story, but I know that it's been said that it's something similar to Agatha Christie, and I absolutely freaking love Agatha Christie, so I'm really excited to read this one and hope that it's also one of those thrillers that I actually enjoy. Then I have two books that I got for the Buzzword Readathon, and that is 3 Truths and a Lie by Brent Hartinger, and I only ended up giving this book 2.5 coffee mugs because I did not love the writing so much. I felt like the writing was done in a way that it was kind of spoon-feeding you the information without letting you come to your own conclusions, which is something that in thrillers can be really annoying. So that's why I only gave it 2.5 coffee mugs. It's based on a group of friends that go into a cabin in the woods that belongs to the father of one of them, and then strange things start to happen. Basically that's it, and they also play this game called 3 Truths and a Lie. Then I have The Last Time I Lie by Rayleigh Sager, which was the book of the group for the Buzzword Readathon, and I really love this one. I gave it a 4-star coffee mug rating, and I really enjoyed it. So now I'm gonna get Final Girls also by him because I really enjoyed this story. It's about this girl that when she's 13 she goes to this summer camp, and she's put in a cabin with some girls that are a little bit older than her, and one night they go out but they never come back. So these three girls disappear, and she doesn't know where they are, and they are never found. And we jump now to 15 years later, and we follow the story when she's older, and she has not been able to move forward with her life. She always has this disappearance from these girls in her mind. So in the book, we're jumping from, you know, scenes from when she was 13 and was at the camp to the present. And while she is in an art exhibition that is exhibiting actually her own paintings, she finds Franny, which was the owner of this summer camp, and she offers her to come back to the camp, which is reopening, and she decides to go. And so all of these memories and flashbacks from the past come back, and it's really, really interesting. Then I have Heartless by Marissa Meyer, and this is a retelling on the Red Queen from Alice in Wonderland. And the reason why I got this one is because I love the Lunar Chronicles so much, and so I wanted to read this one. I know a lot of people are saying it's not that great and it's a little bit boring, but I still want to give it a try because I really love Marissa Meyer. So I'm gonna give it a try because, you know, I love the author, I love the story of Alice in Wonderland and Red Queen, so why not give it a shot? Then I have Gamescape Overworld by Emma Trevain. I hope that was right. And since I absolutely loved Ready Player One, I wanted to read more books based on video games, and I saw this one for a very good price and I decided to pick it up. And this one is based on a virtual reality game that has also a prize that can be won, and, you know, teams fighting for it. So it's kind of the vibe of Ready Player One, and I'm super excited to see how this one is. Then I have Dying to Live, Life Sentence by Kim Pfaffenroth, and it's because I already had read the first book, and it is about zombie apocalypse kind of situation. And I know that a lot of the ratings for this second book are not that great, but I enjoyed the first one a lot, so maybe I will still really enjoy it. So if you like things like, you know, Walking Dead and stories like that about zombies and the apocalypse, you'll definitely enjoy these books. The first one, if you're interested, is this one, Dying to Live, and I really truly enjoyed the story, so I hope that the second one doesn't disappoint. Then I have A Million Junes by Emily Henry, and the person to blame for this is Chelsea from Chelsea Adults Reads, because she said that this had been always one of her favorites, and I just went ahead to Amazon and purchased it because I'm a sucker like that. So I don't really know much about the book, but she recommended it, and whatever Chelsea says it's good, I have deep trust on her, so I decided to pick it up and check it out. Then I have You're Never Weird on the Internet by Felicia Day, and I got this one because I don't read too many memoirs or books written by famous people. She starred in the show Supernatural, which I'm pretty sure everybody knows about, and I'm a big fan, and she played Charlie, which is also one of the best female characters. I absolutely freaking loved her, and I was interested in this book. I got it secondhand for cheap, and you know, I want to expand my reading like to different genres, so I decided, why not, let's pick this one up and see if it's good. And the last books that I have to show you are these ones, which are books that I bought to participate in the Blackathon. Now, I did spend money, but I used some vouchers, and I thought, you know, it is a great way also to support Black authors and buy their books for this Blackathon, and also why not add these cool books to my collection. The first one is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon, and it is turned also into a movie this year, so I'm really excited. She's been really lucky. Her debut novel, Everything was turned into a movie, and now her second book is also being turned into a movie. And this story sounds really interesting. It is about Natasha, a girl that does not believe in destiny or fate or dreams or anything like that, and she cannot even worry about boys because all that she has in her mind is that her family is going to be deported to Jamaica in 12 hours. And then we have Daniel, and he's a dreamer and he believes in destiny, and then one day he meets Natasha and probably their lives change forever. So it's going to be a really nice heartbreaking romantic story, and I'm ready. Then we have Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, and a lot of people has put this book in their favorite reads from 2018, and it is about this girl that writes all her feelings and her thoughts in a book, and kind of like in a diary, but it is written in verse, so it's super interesting. and this is the group book for the Blackathon, and I'm super pumped. Then we have Little and Lion by Brandy Colbert, and I picked this one up because it was super diverse. It is about this black teenage Jewish bisexual girl. So we follow the story of Suzette, and she comes home to Los Angeles because she had been in a boarding school in New England, and now she has to go back, and she goes back to her old life, to her old crush, and also to her brother that has bipolar disorder, and he needs a lot of support from her. So she's having trouble to adjust again back into her old life, and on top of that she starts to fall in love with a girl, and she realizes that it is the same girl that also her brother likes. So yikes. So we will see how this one goes, but it is a really diverse book, and also one of the ones that I picked for the Blackathon, and I absolutely love this paperback. The hardcover, it is a little bit simple and a little bit ugly, if I might say, so I'm super happy that I got this paperback because it looks pretty stunning. I don't have space for all the books that I bought because I'm trash. And the last one that I have to show you, and also one that I got for the Blackathon, is Dear Nick by Nick Stone, and that is her debut novel, and it is the story of Martin, who is a student, like an A student, and he is already considering applying for all of these Ivy League colleges, and one day he gets in trouble because the police put handcuffs on him, but he gets released without any charges because it was a misunderstanding, I believe. And then he starts to realize that even though he was released without any charges, he still has this shadow over him, and people, you know, look at him like with judgment, and it is about how he deals with that. And I thought it was really interesting, and it's a book by a Black author. It is a debut novel, so I wanted to support it and see if I like it, and if I do, I will get her other book. So as you can see, I don't have any more space left. These are 31 books that I acquired only in the month of January. It's fine, it's okay. Some of them were secondhand, some of them, like this one I got for like €3 on Amazon. I mean, it is not that bad when it comes to costs because some of them were like secondhand. For some of them I used some vouchers, but still, it's a lot of books. I just, you know, try to convince myself saying that I did read 100 books last year, so, you know, it's okay to accumulate a couple more books. Yeah, right. Kids, don't try this at home. Don't be a hoarder like me. Just kidding, just hoard whatever you want. Be happy. Anyways, I really hope that you enjoyed this book haul, and thanks so much for watching, you guys. Let me know down below what you thought about all these books that I have shown you. If you read any of these and you think that they are great or not that great, let me know down below without spoilers. Thanks so much for watching. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any more coffee times with me, and I hope to see you all in the next coffee time. Bye!